budget cuts mean fewer refugees will be able to flee to Nashville. The federal government is cutting ties with a local nonprofit that helps resettle people legally seeking a new home here in Tennessee. News 2's Kendall Ashman talked to one of the nonprofit's leaders who is fearful that they will be dismantled.
Here at the Nashville International Center for Empowerment, NICE for short, the nonprofit works to resettle refugees who were cleared to move to Nashville legally. Last year, NICE helped resettle about 500 people to Middle Tennessee.
They undergo several years of vetting, of security screenings, both by U.S. agencies and by international agencies.
The U.S. Refugee Admissions Program has been in place since 1980.
Sometimes people can be living in refugee camps for up to 2 decades before they even get invited to interview with the United States.
But now, Max Rykov with NICE says the program is terminated. NICE's partner was notified through email by the Department of State that they will no longer receive funding. Back in January, President Trump originally ordered a 90-day review process on the program.
Essentially, what this memorandum does is it ends that review process. So as far as we understand, there will be no refugees coming into the United States for the foreseeable future.
Also in limbo, federal funding to help refugees get on their feet when they first arrive to the U.S. The State Department supplies about $1,600 per person to last 90 days while they search for housing and a job. That funding was frozen back in January.
There was a lot of confusion of freezing and unfreezing of funds, but the freeze of federal funding for refugees has not been unfrozen yet.
Without the federal funding for these programs, Max fears the nonprofit will be dismantled.
Feeling of devastation all around. So I have coworkers and friends who have been waiting for years to try to be reunited with their family members who are in the refugee pipeline.
And at this time, NICE is in need of volunteer help and is asking Nashvillians to consider helping refugees who are already in Middle Tennessee. They're also asking the community to contact their elected officials to reinstate the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program and unfreeze federal funding. You can find all of this information on their website at empowernashville.org. Haley.
Thank you, Kendall. When it comes to foreign assistance, nonprofits are fundraising to help organizations struggling with these cuts. Unlock Aid, which advocates for U.S. Agency for International Development Reforms, started the Foreign Aid Bridge Fund in February. The group will take donations and make grants to groups around the world to try to avert some of the worst impacts of this policy change. The U.S. spent $68 billion on foreign aid in 2023 and is the largest global funder of humanitarian responses.